Most women start at a disadvantage learning golf. Not only are we not as big or as strong as men, but more importantly, many of us have not performed the basic movements found in baseball and other sports. These movements would have helped make golf a lot easier to learn. My system is designed to teach you movements for a powerful swing. Simply hitting it straight isn't going to satisfy you if it doesn't go anywhere. And besides, hitting a big drive is a lot more fun. Each point is made for the purpose of understanding, creating, and applying power. The two main points are a left arm arc for a bottom of the swing opposite the left shoulder. Next time you're on the golf course, check out practice swings. Most beginners and high handicappers have the bottom of the swing opposite the right foot. The right arm is in charge. Low handicappers and better players have the bottom of their swing opposite their left foot. Their left arm is in charge of the arc. Secondly, for greater club head speed, attach your left arm to your pivot. I can create a lot of swish with my left arm alone, but when I can attach it to my pivot at the starting of the downswing, I can create a lot more swish. But with a faulty grip, you can lose all this power. So let's see how we put the hands on the club. Strength is not what we're looking for in a grip, but sensitivity in the hands. For the hands identify the club head weight and the direction of the club face. They also transmit power from the body to the club head. Any slippage or movement in the grip usually loses power. You'll notice that I'm using the overlapping grip, or the Varden grip. This was created by Harry Varden, who had very large hands that covered the entire grip. He was trying to put his hands closer together to get more club head speed. I recommend for beginning golfers who have small hands, the 10-finger grip. I feel this gives women more strength at the top of their swing. In thinking about the grip, let's be sure that we grip it firm, but that we, have enough flexibility in our wrists and that our arms aren't too stiff so our arms can rotate through the ball. And we want our hands sensitive to the weight of the club. Remember, we're always sensing club head weight. And trying to find the direction of the club face with the back of the left hand. There's a special relationship there. So if you had two eyes at the back of your left hand and you had two eyes on your club face, you'd want them both to be going in the same direction. You place the shaft under the heel pad of the left hand, this pad at the base of the hand. Not the one by the thumb, we're always getting that confused, but the one at the base of the hand. And then we grip with the fingers. You can see it starts along the index finger, the middle joint there, up into to the next finger, and then up under the heel pad. So it's diagonally across the palm. Never in the fingers or never just in the palm. Good, so make sure it's under that heel pad. That's great. Now we grip with the fingers, especially the last three fingers. There's a close feeling around here of the little finger. If there's any opening at all, then your grip will slip at the top of your swing. So be sure you're down there low enough in the palm. Great, and then we just move the thumb over to the right-hand side of the shaft. Be sure not to turn it over. A lot of people, when they put their thumb over there. When you look down, you'll see something like 2 to 3 knuckles on that left hand, and your V will be going toward your right shoulder, somewhere between your chin and your right shoulder. Okay, good, and you'll feel like you have a nice grip in your hands. When you squeeze the club face won't turn in or turn out. It'll stay where you started. See this V right here, Jackie? It's going a little bit to the right of your shoulder. So let's see if we can straighten it up here and just move the thumb over by itself. Now, this is the back of the hand. See, this is the club face down here. Relax your hand a little bit. Good. We want those going in the same direction. Good. Okay, I think it's under the heel pad. That looks great. Good. Okay. Ellie, when you set the club down, be sure that you've aligned your club face, the bottom line of your club face at right angles to a target line so that you kind of know where you're going there. That's good. Underneath the heel pad, that's great. Thumb over there, V going to your right shoulder. That's good. See, Janine, that looks great. Okay, let me get you down a little lower on the club, kind of right under your grip there. So you can be sure that pad's on there. By the way, the club cocks up and down on that heel pad, so that's another reason why it's so important to have your left hand, have your shaft under the heel pad. It's good, Mary. I'm going to put yours a little bit more on top there, and your thumb separates, goes down that side. There's your V going to your shoulder. Looks good. Okay. Okay, Jake. There it is, your thumb down the right-hand side. Can you see 2 to 3 knuckles?
Yeah.
Okay, that looks good. Okay, squeeze your hand and let's see what happens to that club face. Oh, that looks good. Stays right where it is. That's great. Good. Okay, now with the right hand. The left thumb sort of tells that right hand where to go. You start with your palm, your right palm facing your left palm. And let's put, I don't know whether you're using the overlapping grip or the 10-finger grip, but right now, let's put the 10-finger grip on, okay? And your crease of the right hand, or that cup of the right hand, fits right against the thumb of the left. That's kind of where the thumb tells the right hand where to go. And then you form a trigger finger. See how you're, just like you're shooting a gun. It's kind of hooked like that. It separates from the rest of the fingers and grips the club. Then the thumb separates all by itself. Not again, you don't want to turn your hand over and let it go down the right-hand side of the shaft. And this V also should be pointing to your right shoulder or a little right of your chin. Okay? Now, where we're staying together in our grip, if I could put grass in and hold it throughout the swing, it'd be right where my heel of my hand touches my thumb, if I can get it in here. Good. There, I want to stay together right there. I feel a very sensitive, my thumb and forefinger are not gripping the club at all. They're sensitive to the weight of the club. I'm feeling some little pressure back here in my last 3 fingers, making sure I hold on. Okay, good. Wiggle the club head around and get the feeling of and kind of move your left wrist, rotate your left wrist and feel the club face rolling. Good. That's great. Let me check your right hand grip here. Okay, great. Okay, I'm going to put you against there a little bit. The cup of your right hand covers your thumb, but that looks great, and your V's going. It's against your thumb back here, but it also covers the thumb. Looks good. Ellie, I'm going to separate your thumb over there and give you a trigger finger. That's going to be important later on, so you can find the weight of the club head right in that trigger finger. Okay, Janine, that looks real good. Looks great. You got that trigger finger going. Good. That's good. You can bend that right arm just a little bit there. That looks great. That's good. That looks real good. Thumb over there. Yeah, trigger finger, set that a little over there. This pad is lightly placed on the club. There's not much pressure at all. It just sits there. So you're not gripping with your thumb at all. You're just kind of sensing. Those look good. Traditionally, women have had trouble getting their stance. At first, they're self-conscious with the correct posture. But posture, balance, and weight distribution all determine whether a body moves with ease throughout the swing or not. First, we start by lining up our foot line with our target line. Then we align the back of our head with our spine. Keeping our knees straight, we bow to the ball. This is how we lower the club head to the ball. We bend our knees slightly, making sure the thighs are back. When you look down, the knees should be more toward the ankles than toward your toes. The feeling is much like a quarterback taking a snap from center, or sitting on a spectator seat that's tilted behind you. The width of your stance is about the width of your shoulders. In the finish of your swing, you should be able to put your right knee against your left knee. Your head is slightly bowed so as not to restrict the left shoulder turning back. Your right foot is straight, your left foot is open. Your right shoulder is lower than your left shoulder simply because your right hand is lower on the club than the left. Now we're in a position to turn the body away with ease. Let's start by aligning your head and your spine first. Rather than going down to the ball head first, we keep our head up and bend to the ball. We'll bend keeping our legs straight, and then when we bend the knees, we'll keep the thighs back. And when you look down, you'll see your knee more toward your ankles than you'll ever see toward your toes. I think if there's a common fault among women in their posture is that they're so used to tucking their seat under and their knees go way out over their toes. So let's be sure our thighs are back when we sit down to the ball. Okay, so you stand up tall, get your grip, bend down to the ball, keeping your back straight and your chest and head up. Okay, let me check Mary out here. That looks real good. Yeah, your head up. The head just slightly bows, but see your left shoulder is going to come back and turn under your chin, so always have a feeling of that. That looks real good. Okay, Ellie? That looks great. Knees are more toward the ankles than to the toes. That looks good. Thighs back. Okay, those knees are a little forward. Mary, let's get them back a little more. That's great. So it's just a slight bend. That's great. Your thighs are back. That looks good. Janine, that looks great. Your shoulders are slightly open. The line across your hips and your feet and your shoulders are all parallel to your target line. And your left shoulder's a little higher and your right shoulder's a little lower. Okay, that looks good, Jake. Good. Great. Okay, wonderful. That looks good. Oftentimes I'm asked by students, how fast should I swing the club? And I usually reply, as fast as you want to, as long as you can sense a lagging club head and maintain balance. A lagging club head is the weight of the club head resisting a change in direction. This is what you're aiming through the ball. Therefore, your tempo is determined by lag. To understand lag, if I were to swing away and let go of the club, all force is going to my right. Now, in starting down, I sense the resistance to the change in direction by the club head. This is what is meant by that lagging feeling. I sense the resistance in the trigger finger of my right hand. This is what I aim through the ball, and this is what gives me my tempo. So if I'm going too fast and I don't sense this resistance to change, then I won't have this lagging feeling to take better aim on the ball. This is what you're aiming through the ball, this lagging feeling, the pressure of that club head wanting to go the other way while you pull it back. Okay, it's what you aim through the ball. Now we're going to have two tees, one in the center of our stance where we play most of the irons and one at the bottom of the arc. But let's see if we can identify that lag when we swing away. So your wrists and have to be flexible and your fingers have to be sensitive enough to find this change of direction, and then pull it through the ball. Pull it through these two tees. See, aim that lagging club head right through the tees, both of them. Okay? Take some practice swings first and see if you can identify that weight. And then, looks good. Before you hit the tees, then just try to feel it. Also, see if you can identify it, just with a little half swing. See if you can identify it right in the trigger finger of your right hand. You'll also feel it sort of, that change of direction of the pull of the club head right in your last three fingers, too. So, see if you can sense it. Good. That's good. Lag sort of determines your tempo, so you can't go any faster than you can sense that lagging club head. But you can accelerate it. Okay, let's work on the tees now. Address the back tee that's in the middle of your stance and see if you can aim that lagging club head through both of those tees. Try it again if you don't do it the first time. Good. Just pull it and let her go. Good. Great. Good. Very nice. Great. Good. Good. See if you can even feel it, that you never lose it. Feel like even into the end of your follow-through over here, you haven't lost the feeling of the club head lagging behind. If you're having trouble finding the lag of the club head, it's probably because your right hand is taking over. It's being in charge. So let's talk a little bit about the right hand, what it does. When you start your change of direction, the upper arm brings the right elbow into the side so that the forearm can be pulled through impact. The right arm is a pitching movement. It's as if you were skipping a stone across the creek. This forearm is thrown through impact. So any attempt to create the arc of the swing with the right hand keeps you from sensing and feeling this lagging club head. For a correct ball response, the club face strikes the ball before it strikes the ground. That means with irons, when the ball is in your center of your stance, you hit the ball first, then take a divot. And that means the bottom of the arc, which is opposite the left shoulder, is in the area of the divot. With all irons, we hit the ball first, then take a divot. We're aiming our hands ahead of the ball. To illustrate this, put a tee down in front of your ball and aim your hands to the tee so that you can go down and through the ball. Now that we've found our lag, let's see how we can aim it and find the bottom of the arc opposite the left shoulder. I'm going to make a line here in the grass, put 2 tees at the end of the line, and use this line as my ball position line. With most of the irons, you know, you play it in the middle of your stance, between your heels. Now, what we'll do is try to aim this lagging club head in front of the line and creating the bottom of the arc opposite the left shoulder. So use your tees and see if you can address your line and then see if you can aim that club head over opposite your left shoulder. Great.
I hit my tees way over here.
The line goes right in the middle of your stance and then you're aiming that club head. Yeah. Okay. Good. You can feel this better, I think, with little half swings and feel the club head lag and the aiming of the club head, the change in direction. Also sense that your right elbow comes into your right side, coming down. Good. So you're really aiming your hands in front of that line. You're aiming the club head in front of the ball. You've often heard people say, take ball first and turf afterwards. From the ball through, we're going lower. The club head in front of the line is lower through. That's why we're making a divot with the bottom of the arc opposite the left shoulder. So you strike the ball first, then go lower through it to the bottom of the arc. And we're aiming that lagging club head down and through the ball. If you're having trouble finding the bottom of your arc, be sure at the first movement down, your weight shifts with the shifting of the hips and that your feet roll in. Your right foot rolls into the ground, your left foot rolls back. The shifting of the hips allows room for the right elbow to get into the side. In a recent study, it was stated that the carry of the drive of the average woman golfer was around 130 yards. That leads me to believe that that average woman golfer isn't using an effective pivot. I believe that the average drive for a woman golfer should be somewhere in the 150 to 190 range, and with some women hitting it over 200 yards. Now we'll concentrate solely on the pivot without using the arms. We'll start with the backswing pivot. We start the level turning of the hips and shoulders. The left foot works in, the left knee works in. The right leg acts like an anchor, and the right foot accepts the weight. With the right foot being fairly straight, the hips will turn about 45 degrees, but the shoulders will turn on to around 90 degrees. The left heel will come up at the very end of the swing. The first movement down is called the sit-down position. The heel returns to the ground first. Then the hips shift and the weight rolls on the feet. The hips pull the lagging shoulders behind as the shoulders tilt to assist the hands coming down to the ball. Through impact, the hips and shoulders are slightly open and more weight is moved to the left side. The hips and shoulders are still whirling the club head. Through impact, the hips and shoulders whirl as fast as they can, pulling the right heel off the ground. In the finish of the swing, you're up on your right toe, your right knee could touch your left knee, and your shoulders are turned far past 90 degrees. I understand the power of the pivot. Let's start making some noise with this club shaft. You know, I can swing it pretty good with my left arm, but now when I can attach it to my pivot. So let's make a big turning motion of the hips and the shoulders back and through and come to this finish with your right foot up on the toe, on your right toe there, all the way where your club shaft is down to the ground. Let's see if we can, how much swish we can make with our pivot. Okay, good. Make some more noise, Okay, try not to hold the club head itself, just hold the shaft. Okay, this is with your left arm. We're creating a left arm arc, your left arm only. Kind of loosen up your wrists. You can feel they can cock and uncock better in their release. When you finish, your left arm is bent. That's good, real good. Your left arm bends. Okay, good. All right, wait just a minute. Let me kind of put you into these two positions. Ellie, stand there a minute and let me work on that. Okay, as we come back, you're going to turn your hips and shoulders to the top and set an angle up here from your left arm and shaft. Look up here and see that's how it's level to the ground like that. Then when you come on down through, so you're going to shift your weight, shift your hips, and unturn your shoulders, and you're going to let the club go, make a lot of swish, and come up to this big finish here at the top. That's great. Look 300 yards down the fairway. That's where your ball is. And see how you can see your club shaft over here? Good. And your right knee can almost touch your left knee. Come back again. If you're having trouble doing that, open your left toe a little bit, because that'll put too much pressure on your ankle. Open a little bit more. About a quarter turn out like that. Good. You can turn through so much better. Okay, you come through. Now this left arm gets to break. And it looks a lot like the other arm, you know, at the backswing. Your left arm does now. And then you come up on that right toe, all the way up on that right toe. That looks good. So the more you can do this through the ball, the more you can turn, kind of let that go along your ear line. Stay right there a minute. The more you can turn your hips, the more you can turn your shoulders, the more swish you can get. Okay, let's let it just hang down here easy like. Okay, now relax. I know that's tough. Good. Just very nice. Okay, Mary, let's talk about the head, how the head looks up during the pivot. Okay, kind of bend over. Your ear comes to the ground like that. Rather than looking up this way, that pulls your shoulders up. Let's look up and follow the flight of the ball. You just look like you're just seeing it take off. Good. And when you come through, let's go to your finish now. This arm breaks up like this. Good. Come up on your right toe. Good. That's great. And look down the fairway right like that. See how kind of your ears to the ground here? And your club shaft is right along your ear line, pointing down to the ground. That's your finished position. So your shoulders are on a little deeper angle coming through than they were going back. That's great. Okay. If you're having trouble making a lot of swish with your club head, perhaps your arm isn't attached to your pivot at the very top. Wherever your left arm touches your chest, keep it together. Feel pressure against your chest by your left arm in that first movement down. Then your arm blasts off your chest. But it's the shifting of the hips that pulls on the shoulders that gives acceleration to the left arm, and then it flings through impact. We've talked a lot about an arc of swing, but we haven't talked much about swing planes. As the arms swing the club up, the club shaft swings around to a shoulder plane. This is swinging in an arc on a horizontal plane. Children learn to do this because they're so low to the ground. To illustrate, I'll get on my knees and show you how easy it is to swing in an arc. As we grow older and get taller, we'll swing in a more inclined or upright plane. Your individual swing plane will be determined drawing a line from the ball to where your right shoulder is turned back. Your hands and club shaft will be at this angle. If you can learn golf at a young age, it's a lot easier. And one of the reasons is because you're so low to the ground and you can swing in a more horizontal arc. For instance, a lot of our junior golfers develop good swings, and I'm going to try to get down to their level and get on my knees to show you how easy it is to swing in an arc when you're low to the ground. Now, what I'd like you to do is try to hit off your knees too. Practice first hitting some tees like this and learn to clip off that tee. See what happens when youngsters first start, they'll hit back here. Now, an adult can get away with it. They can release too soon, and because they're tall and coming from straight or behind the ball, they'll go ahead and hit the ball and get away from it. But children will hit right behind it and bounce right over the top. So they'll learn to get that divot that they're taking closer and closer to the ball. And so quickly they learn how to clip off that tee. Okay, I'll try to hit some off here.
Special. All right.
And then they say all the strength is in the legs. Well, you are actually using a little bit of hip shift here, a little bit of weight transfer. Okay, would you like to try? First of all, let's just practice swinging in an arc and clipping off the ground and clipping off the tees. Get a feeling of more of a horizontal feeling. It's still up over your shoulder, the club shaft is, but it's a little flatter arc than if you were standing up taller. Good. Now notice where you clip that grass. See, are you behind or forward? Keep trying to get the bottom of your arc over to your left shoulder. Wonderful. Okay, let's try to hit some balls. Very nice. Good. All right. If you're hitting behind the ball, just keep getting a little bit closer. Your hands will have to lead. This is a swing plane. As you can see, it's an arc and an inclined plane. If you're having trouble getting the bottom of your arc opposite your left shoulder and creating the bottom of the arc behind, hitting what we call fat shots, or hitting behind the ball, you're probably picking the club up halfway back. As you can see, what would happen if you get right back halfway back and you lift the club up, see how your head moves back and your weight stays on your left side? This is what's called the reverse shift. The head is one of the heaviest parts of your body, and if it leans back, all your weight goes over here. So now as we get taller, see, we're swinging in a more upright plane than we were, of course, off our knees, but we're letting the club still swing in an arc around us to the top of the swing. This is an example of an incorrect swing arc. When you take it halfway back and start lifting it up to your target, let it swing in an arc. As you can see on this inclined plane, the club has to go back behind you and swing on the arc, the shaft does. Usually what happens right here is the right wrist picks the club up. Let both arms swing the club and continue on, allowing your pivot to take it to the top. We've talked about the basics of the pivot. Now we'll add the arms, hands, and club while breaking the swing down into positions. We'll take the takeaway halfway back to the top of the swing, the first movement down, impact, halfway through, and to the finish. These positions are all part of a total motion. While practicing swinging, swing in an arc and find these positions, and of course, find the lag. In the takeaway, we're thinking about a wide arc. The arms swing fairly straight away as the club head swings up and around. This is called the halfway position, or the shake hands position. The flat left wrist and club face are vertical to the ground. The club shaft is horizontal and parallel to your target line. Your right arm is bent and your elbow to the ground. The hips and shoulders have turned level. The weight is moved in off the left foot and the left knee is turned in. At the top of the swing, the club shaft is horizontal to the ground and parallel to your target line. The right arm is in the tray position. The forearm is at a 90-degree angle. The weight is sensed in the trigger finger of the right hand. The left heel is pulled off and it will start the downswing. In the sit-down position, the hips and feet lead the lagging shoulders. The right elbow comes into the right side. The arms are being whirled into impact. The hands are leading the club head and the ball. The club shaft is leaning forward. The flat left wrist is in line with the club shaft, and the right arm is bent. Through impact, the club shaft is pointing at the target line. The club face has closed through the ball. The right heel is being pulled off the ground, and the hips and shoulders are whirling through the ball. This halfway position is the mirror image of the backswing. It is also called the shake hands position. The club shaft is horizontal to the ground and parallel to your target line. The left wrist is vertical to the ground and the club face is vertical to the ground. The left elbow is bent and the elbow is pointing to the ground. In the finished position, the shoulders and hips have turned far beyond their backswing position. You're up on your right toe, the club shaft is pointing down to your target line. Let me emphasize, these positions should be put into your total motion, one at a time. No position is advantageous if it stops the flow and acceleration of the club head. Let's think about the takeaway first. In creating a wide arc, we'll put a tee behind the ball 8 to 10 inches and see if you can clip off that tee going back. And reach out and see if you can find a wide arc. Okay? Let's put that into practice. When you take a wide arc like that, you'll feel the weight transfer more easily to the right foot. The next position we should be aware of is the Position halfway back. This is when the left wrist is vertical and flat. That means the shaft is in line with the left arm here, and the club face is vertical to the ground. After you take your wide arc, let's go be sure we hit the halfway position. Your shaft is about over your shoelaces, and your shaft is horizontal to the ground.
Stop at halfway.
No, don't stop at halfway. Just put it into your total motion. Yeah, all these positions, just sort of be aware of this wide, where the left wrist is vertical to the ground. Good. Okay, after the halfway position, we go to the top of the swing. This is where the club shaft is again horizontal to the ground, parallel to your target line. Make sure your elbows are fairly close together and that the right elbow and forearm are underneath the shaft. All right? This is the power move, the first movement down. This is where we start our initial acceleration of the club head. After the left heel comes down to the ground, we shift the hips and roll with the feet, and it pulls the lagging shoulders behind. Also, the right elbow comes into the side. Okay, let's practice that move. Take a few swings first, feeling your feet roll, feeling your hip shift, and feeling your elbow come into your side. Just practice that first movement. When we release into the ball, the impact position is with the hands ahead, about opposite your thigh. Your shaft is leaning forward, and your head stays in the middle of the body. Your right elbow's bent. Let's see if you can practice with coming into the ball with the shaft leaning forward and with the hands leading. Through impact, the club goes low through the ball and closes. You can see the club face closing. The left wrist is still flat. There's two ways to close that club face, and this is the wrong way. So you want that left wrist to be flat and hinging when it comes through. So let's see if we can feel the club face close as you go through the ball. Or better yet, relate to your flat left wrist. Relate to your arm hinging through the ball. The halfway position into the finish is a mirror image of the backswing. The club shaft is horizontal and parallel to your target line. The left wrist is vertical and the club face is vertical. But the left arm is starting to bend now. Feel your left wrist. What's this? When you go into your backswing, feel your left wrist vertical to the ground. And then through here, feel your left wrist vertical to the ground. Use your left arm and just kind of swing, hinge it back and forth and see what that feels like. Okay, can you stop when the club shaft is horizontal to the ground? Back way, both ways, just right now, and see if you can. Just kind of identify where your flat left wrist is in the swing. This is probably one of the best positions, the finish position, to practice, because this makes sure that you accelerate all the way through to a very full arc. And so often, if you can create this kind of a finish, you can create enough centrifugal force that will help you align your club face and rotate the shaft through the ball. So your finish position is, from your toe up, that you swing around to a very full finish. Your shaft is along your ear line pointing down to the ground. You're up on your right toe. And as much as you can keep those shoulders moving through, the more club head speed you can create. Be sure your left toe is turned out, or you won't really be able to swing all the way through. These positions are to be put in to your golf swing on the practice range, not on the golf course. If you had to think about where your left arm was throughout the swing, you'd probably miss the ball, because when you're on the golf course, you've got to think about the target, you've got to think about your alignment, how hard you want to hit the ball. So put these positions in on the practice range. Now let me hit a few shots and see if I've got my positions aligned throughout my swing. Many of us have similar swing problems, and we can learn what we're doing wrong by watching others. Very nice.
I'm slicing to the right. Keep
Ooh, Debbie, that looks good. Let's see if we can hit the ball a little bit more solidly by working first on changing our left-hand grip. Being sure it's under the heel pad, at the base of the hand. And then let's start working a little bit on your weight transfer. I think maybe you're not getting your weight over to your left side in your finish. So at the top of your backswing, let's go to the top of your backswing now. Let's see your feet. Put your left heel down first, and then roll the right foot over and the left foot over. And you can feel your weight transfer to your left side. Let's feel that movement a little bit. That's right. Try that again. You can feel the roll down of the feet. Beautiful, and a good finish. Okay, address that ball again. I think maybe, perhaps one of the reasons that ball went to the left is because your grip was turned over a little too far. So let's kind of weaken your grip, but that certainly isn't a weak grip. It's still going, to your shoulder. Also, for a little more acceleration coming down, let's work on the finish of the swing. Good, let's stretch out and come up on this right foot considerably. See if you can touch your right knee against your left knee. That's good, great. Through here, your head looks up, and let's turn over there to the maintenance building feeling. Good. That's it, way up there. That's great. See, so you can see it out of the corner of your eye. See the club over here? That's great. Okay, relax. Good. That grip now and getting a big finish. Let's see you hit it. Whoops, wait just a minute. I'm gonna. Okay, let's work on your alignment a little bit too. I think maybe you're lined up to pull that ball a little bit. Okay, let's work on this a little bit. Okay, see. Your foot line. Let's get your foot line running parallel to that line. Okay. That's very little. Okay, good. All right, that's fine. Let's work on your ball position 2. Let's put that over here. We'll work on your stance and grip a little bit here. Stance, and your grip, and a big finish. Okay, put your left heel now about 2 or 3 inches from that shaft. Bring your left heel over a little bit more. That's it, good. You were playing that ball pretty much, off your right side for wood, and it should be more off your left heel than your right heel. Good. Okay. Ooh. Looks like a pretty good shot to me. What I'd like to work on, I think, Janine, is perhaps getting your elbow in front of your right hip. Let's go to the top of your swing. Okay, you're extending out here. Feel when you plant your left heel and shift your hips and roll your feet. Feel that elbow get in there. Take a couple of practice swings and feel it coming down. Okay, go ahead and swing on through. Just kind of feel that elbow come in. Wonderful. Try that again. Good. Okay, let's hit one. That's a good swing. Let's work on the top of your swing, Jake. I think maybe we could get your right forearm underneath the shaft a little more.
Okay.
At the top. Okay, let's swing back. Good. Okay, let's check to see if you're in the fingers of the right hand or in the palm. I think maybe you're in the palm of the right hand. Okay, it's important at the top that it just rests in that index finger and that it doesn't slip down into the palm. Okay. Good. And you stay together right where the heel pad is against the thumb. Let's take a couple of practice swings and feel that. Go to the top again. Okay, try that again. Let me go back with you once.
There, good, there.
Yep, there. Yeah, you like it? Oh, let's open and see if you're in the fingers or in the pot. See, it's
Slid down.
Slip it down a little bit there. Okay. Try that again. See if you can, somewhere in your swing, it's slipping in down into your hand. That looks better. Okay, let's try to hit some. Okay, I'm going to change your foot to address the ball a minute. Take your right hand off. Good. There. Put your left hand on. I'm going to make your hand a little bit weaker. It looked to me like maybe you were over there too much. Okay. There. Put your fingers first. Good. And feel with your trigger finger. Feel it in there. Okay. Feel the lagging club head in your finger. Very nice. Good shot. Okay, Ellie, I think that ball's going a little bit to the left because of your backswing. Let me have you address this ball a moment. Set your club down and get your stance. What I'm seeing is that your hands are going too far in on the backswing. Okay, grip the club a minute, and I'm seeing them sort of go inside on the takeaway. Remember, we're trying to create this wide arc going back. See the club shaft go along the... Relax your arms a little bit. Now, that's going to feel a lot wider than what you're used to. Okay, hold it out there a minute. That position all by itself. Okay, good. Okay, address the ball a minute. Okay, let me check your left-hand grip. Take it off a minute. Now, what I'm seeing here is an opening right there. And you want your club head down in there and up on that heel pad. Remember, that's where a club cocks up and down. Okay, good. Okay, grip with the under the heel pad. Relax this right arm here. It's bent. And take it, relax your arms a little bit more so they swing a little bit more freely. Good. Remember, we're looking for sensitivity in these hands, for the arms to rotate. Good. Right there. Great. Okay, let's try that.
Okay. Hopefully, by the end of the day, you'll have a little bit better understanding of
Okay, Mary, the reason that shot went off to the right was because you pulled through the ball left rather than extending out through the ball. Let's work on that position through the ball. Go ahead and address it now, and let me put a shaft down here indicating your target line. And look at the position here. Impact position, your hands are slightly ahead, and then you're way out here. See, on that shot you missed, you pulled in on the ball going this way. So let's see if you can feel your shaft pointing at your target line there. Now let me do something else. Keep your hands right like that, like you're addressing the ball, and let go of the club for me, but keep your hands there. Okay, go ahead and swing to the top, and then bring your hands very to the top of your swing, and then bring your hands back and grip this club. I want you to feel how low it is through the ball, okay? Come on through. Yeah, way there. Good. Good feeling there. Hold on to that club now, because I want to point some things. See how your right shoulder is lower than your left coming through? What I'm seeing is your shoulders are very level when you come through. And I think it has a lot to do with the way you look up. You look up this way rather than look up with your ear to the ground. Okay, take a few practice swings trying that. Going lower through the ground. And then hit a ball. Very nice. Try that again. Extend on out and go to a finish. That's good. Let's try to hit one now. Good swing. Try again. Very nice. Okay, Mary, I think perhaps maybe you hit behind that a little bit because you're picking the club up a little bit on the backswing. So let's work on swinging a little bit more in an arc than maybe picking the club up halfway back. I'm going to put the shaft here, and this is a swing that kind of goes to and then goes up. That's what I think. Maybe you're picking it up a little bit there. Let's see if it swings around. The club head swings a little bit more behind you. Feeling it go around you. Around a little bit more. Good. Great. It might feel a little bit lower plane, but not much. Right about in there to the top of your swing. I think you had a little bit up in here. Let's see if we can get a little bit lower. Good. Great. Okay. Look at that club head going around behind you. Okay, good. Let's try that again. Okay. Extend it out, going back. Good. Extend it out, going back. And then a little bit behind you in this feeling rather than up so much. A little bit behind you back there. Good.
There is a mental side.
Try that again.
You know, a lot of other sports like football is more of a reaction. When it comes after you, you don't have time to think.
I'm about 40 yards from the green, and I'll be using a pitch shot instead of a chip shot. A pitch is a ball that lofts high in the air and rolls a little ways. A chip carries not very far, but rolls a long ways. In the pitch shot, what I'm trying to do is get my feel for distance with the length of my arc and the speed of my arc. You really feel the distance you're going to go with your arm swing. And you concentrate more on your hands and arms and the length of their arc rather than on the club head arc. In order to make it easier to turn through the ball, take your normal stance and then drop your left foot slightly back. This would restrict your turn on the backswing for a longer shot, but since we're taking a shorter arc, using a shorter arc, we don't need to worry about the restricted turn. I've seen a lot of good chippers in my day on the LPGA Tour, and most of them have a plan of visualizing the shot and selecting the club. The majority of the good chippers use a plan where they hit the front edge of the green and have it roll the rest of the way. It rolls like a putt. The theory is if you've got the ball coming in low to the green, it'll roll like a putt. If you're lofting, bring the ball in high. With a lofted club, it'll hit and stop or hit and roll, and you're not sure what'll happen. Now, the club selection depends on the loft of the club. If I were to chip to the front edge of the green with a wedge, it would roll a little ways. A 9-iron would roll farther, an 8-iron even farther, and on down to a 5-iron, 4-iron. The shot I have here, I have an 8-iron in my hand. I'm going to cover what I think is the front edge, generously cover the front edge of the green and have it roll the rest of the way. Woo! The bunker shot is one of my favorite shots. Most people are afraid of it, but once you can learn to do it, I think it'll be one of your favorites too. I think what scares people is that they have to take such a long swing for such a short shot. But what we're doing with the explosion shot is to hit the sand or blast the sand or explode the sand and let the sand take the ball out. This is one shot where we can hit behind it and get good results. If I were chipping the shot off the fairway for this distance, I would be taking a swing about this long. But for the bunker shot, I'm taking it all the way back and all the way through. See, I'm even coming up on my right foot. I have a full pivot back and through. The reason it doesn't scare me to take such a full shot or full swing is because I have the club face open. And I open it first before I ever get my grip. So I'm cutting underneath this ball, laying the club head back. The reason I'm laying it back is because I'm trying to use this flange, or the bounce they call it, to act as a runner going through the sand and to keep it from digging in. If I had my club face square, I dig in too deep. And the direction of the club face doesn't affect the ball because the ball doesn't come in contact with the club face. It's the path of swing that gives direction to the ball. In the bunker, as most of you know, you can't ground your club in a hazard, and a bunker is a hazard. So we have to hold the club above the sand and then get our grip. When you're in the bunker and practicing only, go ahead and draw your alignment lines. That's your target line and your foot line parallel to that. And as you see, the foot line is left of your target. When you set down the club and you open the club face, you'll see that your club face is pointing way off to the right. Make sure you don't drag it inside in the direction of the club face, but keep it going straight back along your target line. Uh-oh. The reason I like you practicing with these lines is because so often when we get in the bunker, we're lined off to the right. And if we do, we'll have a tendency to move around and close the club face coming through. It's important now that you have this club face open and the flange underneath through. Sometimes we're unfortunate enough to either be in new sand or to when it comes down into the bunker, it's a bit different situation. Here, you're closing the club face and trying to dig the ball out of the sand. Now, it won't come out quite as high, and it'll run a lot more. So perhaps to a short pin such as this, you may not be able to get it real close. But the important thing is to get it out and to get it on the green rather than closer to the hole. If you're having trouble in the bunker, try the dollar bill trick. Put a dollar bill under the ball, get your stance and open your blade. What you're doing is you're slipping the club right underneath the dollar bill and trying to take the dollar bill on the ball underneath the ball and hit it close to the hole. Like any other shot, distance and direction is important in putting. Probably more so because it's so precise. Your target is so small. What affects direction is the direction of your club face at impact, whether it's open, whether it's square to your target line, or whether it's closed. The distance of the shot is the length of your arc and the tempo of your swing, whether it's fast or slow. What determines direction mainly of your club face is your grip. You want to be sure that the hands oppose one another. Either the palms are facing or the heel pads of both hands, the thumbs straight down the shaft, or both fingers down the shaft. It really doesn't matter as long as you feel like they're against one another. What we're mainly concerned about is returning this square club face. That's when the bottom line of the club is at right angles to your target line. And as I've said, the back of the left hand and the club face form this relationship. Now, whether in putting your left wrist is flat or whether it's bent, it doesn't really matter as long as you keep that relationship through the putt. In shorter putts, The main concern is bringing back a square club face. You pretty much have distance in mind because you can see the hole. But in longer putts, distance is what is important. Alignment is as important in putting as other shots. You want the line across your feet, hips, and especially your shoulders parallel to your target line. You've heard the statement parallel and left. That means the line across your body is parallel and always left of the hole. You'll often see good players come up to the ball and put their body on the hole, especially trying to get their left shoulder on the hole. But if your arms and hands are to swing parallel to your shoulder line and along your club head path, you want to be sure you're parallel with your target line. Distance is determined by your arc. You want to be sure that if you swing your hands back a certain distance, that you bring them through that distance. This is an arc that's even on both sides. Then within that arc is tempo. Some people have a rather fast tempo, other people have a rather slow tempo. The best way I know how to determine distance is to work on 3-foot putts, 6-foot putts, 9-foot putts, 12-foot putts, and know what your footage really is. For an example, let's go over here. What I've done is lay out tees every 3 feet. This is a 3-foot putt, 6-foot, 9-putt, 12, 15, and an 18-foot putt. What I'm trying to do is to learn the feel of these distances. So over and over, I'll practice a 3-foot putt and see if I can stop it right in between those tees. It's surprising what a small stroke this really is. But even with the small strokes, you're trying to create an arc. You have tempo. You're trying to return a square club face. When you get pretty good at a 3-foot putt, try a 6-foot putt. Now with each putt, there is lag and acceleration, and there's an arc of hands equal in distance on both sides of the ball. Meaning if I go back 6 inches, I come through 6 inches. That means my downswing and follow-through are 12 inches. If I go back on 1 beat, I come through on the 2nd beat. With the downswing, I've covered twice the distance, so I've accelerated on the downswing. But my hands and grip are still sensitive to the weight of the club, and I'm accelerating lag. If you're having trouble with distance or direction, check to see if your head is being still through the shot. And look up after you hit the ball. It is important, however, to look up and to see the ball roll, because that's how you feel the distance of every green. Much of the information I have given you is technical, but as you work on your game and go back over these lessons, I think you'll find this knowledge will help lower your score, and you'll have more fun doing it. Learning golf takes time, but after 39 years of playing, watching, and studying the game, I'm convinced it's worth it. Along the way, I've had a lot of help, and I would especially like to acknowledge Mickey Wright, whose swing is the closest I've seen to a perfect example of proper mechanics, maximum power, and gracefulness. And to Harvey Pinnock, my lifelong teacher, who taught me the importance of fundamentals. Homer Kelly, author of The Golfing Machine, who helped me understand the geometry and physics of the swing. And my father, Ronald Cullen, who got me started in the game and who proves daily at 90 that golf is a game of a lifetime.